When am I going to stop talking about the crowds at Disneyland? Not today. We're also going to talk about the new discounted ticket offer, this new sandwich, some fun Oga's Cantina news, and of course, some of that good old-fashioned fresh-baked park science. This is our State of Disneyland report. This is Fresh Baked. Once more into the breach, Fresh Baked. Can't wait. I got a really good feeling that we're gonna have a very interesting episode of State of Disneyland today. I got a really good feeling that there is a continuation of the narrative that we've been seeing in previous weeks out there waiting for us. Let's get that vibe check down Main Street. And away we go with the being serenaded by the Disneyland Railroad as well. Let's get that vibe check. Before we begin, thank you guys for joining us. I am David, I'm your host. This is a State of Disneyland report. This is our twice monthly report. We're gonna tour the entire park. We're gonna go to every land and every attraction, and we're gonna talk about what we find along the way. We're gonna talk about what news is happening. We're gonna do some park science. We're gonna look at queues and tell you whether or not it's a go or no go situation. We're gonna be looking very soon at the reservation calendar to see how attendance is going, how busy it is in the parks, and we're gonna be looking at the tip board to see how busy the attractions are today and what our thoughts are about that, what it all means. But as I mentioned, we're going to get a vibe check down Main Street first. And that vibe check is happening on a Monday morning, well, late morning. It's 11:55 a.m. at the moment. It is 78 degrees out here on this Monday morning. And the vibe that I'm seeing so far is one that's certainly busier than we've seen in past weeks, but still not bonkers. It's pleasant. This is a pleasant, I saw a lot of people. I was really enjoying my B-roll segment. I always shoot B-roll first before I start this show. And this person needs to get their heck out of the street. They're just sitting in the street. I was noting a lot of people just sort of taking footage of the park, of just the aesthetic, the vibe happening here on Main Street. A lot of good positive feelings here. So I'm enjoying that. Whether or not it's a busy afternoon remains to be seen, but at least the people are happy to be here, those who are. I'm still laughing over that scene. I don't think I've ever seen an adult sitting in a stroller in the middle of the street like that before. That was quite hilarious. But yeah, it looks pretty mild, pretty mid so far. I am not seeing anything that approaches OMG type levels, although I'm not expecting OMG. I am expecting at least a little bit busier than we've seen in previous weeks, and I feel like that's going to get backed up by what we're about to see on the reservation calendar. I feel like there is something to be learned from today's reservation calendar compared to last year. Let's go back to the top of Main Street or the top of Town Square and take a look at that. We'll start with single day tickets as usual. Today is a tier 1 day, $126. That's the second cheapest possible day that you can get here at Disneyland, which is consistent with what we've been seeing in the parks. I'd say for the past month or so, a lot of affordable days. This is probably the most affordable stretch, of continuous stretch of the entire year right now, happening in late August, early September. So that would be, the expectation would be maybe we might find a decent sized crowd, although that hasn't happened in our previous sense. We were here on a Tuesday, on a tier 0 day in our last report, dead as disco. The calendar is showing wide open as expected. No reservations, or I'm just saying no sold out dates at all on the single day ticket calendar. So let's look at Inspire Key. Now this is where things get interesting. As I just mentioned on our way out, or when we were doing our vibe check, shocking sort of development compared to what we've seen in years past. We are now at the point where we're having very regular episodes of these State of Disneyland reports. I started doing these every 2 weeks. I want to say maybe 18 months ago or so. So we're getting a really consistent, reliable year-over-year comparison, which is great. Today we're seeing just one sold-out date. Now that's one more than we saw last time. It was completely wide open. There were no sold-out dates, so that's something. It is a Friday, and then we have one date that is halfway to sold out, the 26th, also a Friday, where it's a Disneyland start only, which is interesting. You don't normally see Disneyland starts only and DCA not available. But in any case, one sold-out date. We'll call it 1.5. We'll call it 1.5 sold-out dates for September. Now, Let's take October 1st, or before we continue. No dates sold out in October. Absolutely no dates sold out. We have a half day, obviously Halloween, where the Disneyland Start is sold out. That makes sense. That happens every year. Now this is where things get interesting. This is actually reconciling with the same observations we made last week, and we can make what I believe to be definitive judgments based on this analysis. This time, last week, this was recorded, this State of Disneyland report was recorded on the 18th. These dates were saved on the 18th of September. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sold out dates in September, including the 2 days that, the days we were shooting, the 16th. I take that back. It was not recorded on the 18th. It was recorded on the 16th. It was published on the 18th. So same day last year, sold out, and so was the following day and the weekend, the whole weekend, the 20th through the 22nd, and the following Sunday as well. That is huge. Let's look at October. 1, 2, 3 completely sold out days, 4 completely sold out dates, and then 1, 2, is that 2 half days? So 4.5 sold out dates. Again, completely opposite of what we're seeing today. We're seeing just 1 sold out date. The park is one of 2 things. Same observation we made last week. We can be more confident in this assumption. One of 2 things is happening. Either A, there are fewer people in this park than there were last year. Fewer people are coming to Disneyland, or Disneyland has let in more guests. Now, hi guys. If the latter is true, then that means we should see more people in the park than we did last year. If the former is true, if fewer people are deciding to come to the park, then we should see fewer people in the park, obviously, than we did last year. Last year, the park should have been fuller because the day was sold out. It was busier. So the park should be less busy today if the former is true. The former being people are just deciding not to come to Disneyland. I was leaning towards Disney opening up more dates. This week, I'm almost positive the opposite is the case, and I am more inclined to believe that people are simply choosing not to come to Disneyland. Let's get back to work. And now here is that scene at the hub, which I'm going to go ahead and assume, if we compare this to last week, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a little bit, hi guys, a little bit busier again than we saw last week. So we got a good start here in terms of crowds. Slightly busier, but not OMG levels. Obviously there is still lots of empty space, although this is typical. You often don't see a lot of people in this particular square footage of the park. It's better if we start doing our show proper. It's better if we get into Adventureland. That's where the real analysis begins. That's where we get to look at the queues and the crowds and the pinch points, a couple of pinch points in Adventureland that we get to analyze. And I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to seeing how our previous analysis is playing out today. Much deeper into the Halloween season, much deeper. We should be into the point where the parks are getting, more compressed. As we noted this on Friday during our construction footage, that things are getting, well, you know what? I'm going to shut up. Let's go to Adventureland. All right, here we go. So far, kind of quiet. Tiki Room looks like it's doing about its normal business. This is actually quite light here, very, very mid in terms of crowds. I'm having no issues whatsoever making my way into Adventureland. And to confirm, it is noon. This is the time when the parks should be hitting their peak crowd levels. Based on the past couple of years, it's busier in the early afternoon than it used to be. Oh, look at that. There's guests just making that. Oh my gosh, they're walking straight on. This is going to be a very light queue, I think, what we're going to find when we get there, because I just saw guests just straight walking into the secondary part of the queue. Well, they are on the top tier, top left, which is pretty typical. Oh goodness, look at that. That's interesting. Okay, so first of all, the time is posted 30. They've got a posted 30-minute wait time. Queue on the left and queue on the right. When is the last time you've seen queue on the right? And they're probably, they're probably using just half of it though we can't say for sure. but it looks like to me they're using about half of that. So the fact that they're walking straight in means they're probably adjusting things. They probably grew it, and now it's starting to catch up. You know, there was a backup here. They grew it to the second half, so now this part of the queue is opened up. It's a false. It's a false. What do you call it? False positive, false negative. One of those two. It's actually busier than it looks. 30 minutes, although it's probably not actually 30 minutes. False negative? I think that's a false negative. I think that it looks. No, false positive, because it looks slower than it really is. I think. What about Indiana Jones? And we're looking at a 40-minute wait time for Indiana Jones, which is still kind of surprising. I will note also that the pinch points that I usually find here in Adventureland are a little bit more compressed than we have been finding recently. So the crowds do appear to be present here at noon, present-ish at least. Let's actually take a walk back to the rear part of the queue to see if we can't put eyes on the back of the queue, as is always recommended when you come to Indiana Jones. Don't just rely on the posted wait time. If you can, go put eyes on the back of the queue. And yeah, see, this is why. This is why. You think 40 minutes, you're going to see it, you're going to get a break in here. I mean, it could still be 40, but this is a very, very full queue at Indiana Jones, all the way to the bottles and beyond that as well. So you're looking, this might actually be 40 minutes. If we do a little simple math, I'm going to guess this section right here that's downstairs, 20 minutes. We're going to guess 7 or 8 minutes on the bridge, so that's 28 minutes total, and then actually 12 to 15 inside the temple once you're inside there. So you're looking at, it's a minimum of 40 minutes, and I would not be surprised if by the time we're done walking out of this queue that I see something that's not 40 minutes on that posted wait time. And if it isn't now, it probably will be soon. They're going to up that. That looks like the kind of queue they might normally mark as 50 or 60 minutes. Let's find out. You can see there's the back of the standby queue. That's not good. Oh my gosh, now it's coming out here. Oh, they're definitely changing that wait time. If not now, soon. And they're probably gonna move it out here into this queue. That's gonna happen any minute. Any minute. Boy, look at this. This is okay. This is good. This is good. Here we go.
Jack.
Looks busy out here.
Come here.
A lot of folks sort of congregating, and it does still say 40 minutes. It does still say 40 minutes. Okay. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it? It's only been 5 seconds. I was about ready to start a clock. I didn't even have time to start a clock. They have, I don't know if you caught any of the rotation happening, but it's now 55 minutes. They have in fact changed things, and I would say even as likely is they're going to shift the back of this queue. They're going to put them over here to the side and get that queue to the left, because right now it's blocking things. Now the question is, was that a fresh baked effect? Because what happens often, hi guys, how are you? What happens a lot is that they see me and they're like, oh no, what's our wait time at? And they fix it. But yeah, that's as expected. By the way, that's the right thing. They need to update that. It probably was 40 minutes not long ago, but that's 40 minutes is a call to action. That 40 minutes said, hey everybody, come on down. Indiana Jones is great, and they just haven't had a chance to catch up, because everything is done manually. This is not, there's no algorithm changing that board. It's just, the cast members have to relay the information to the person that does that. Long story short, they did their job. Here is a posted 20 minutes wait time for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Fresh bacon.
Hey guys, how are you? I was here on Friday and it was bonkers right here. This was all full. They weren't all the way on the bridge. They were sending some guests out towards, the New Orleans Square, but this is pretty light right here. It's still busier than it was 2 weeks ago, but it's still pretty light. Very manageable crowd here for Pirates, although I expect that to be the case all the time. With Pirates off of Lightning Lane, it should look like that every single day. There should be very few instances where it doesn't look like that, where it's empty, and there should be very few cases where they're sending crowds into New Orleans Square towards Haunted Mansion and Tiana's Palace. That should basically never happen. Coming around to the bridge, it should be a rare case where you see a queue up here like this. They're not even putting ropes up now, which is great, and you should see the queue moving like this. What a beauty that is, you guys. Look at that. Oh, That just makes me so happy. But look how brisk the right side is moving compared to the left side though. And I have been saying left side, but I don't know, man. I mean, they are still using, people have observed on the app, on the freshbakedpresents.com app, they've seen people using these scanners. Most likely that is for ADA. It's still not on Lightning Lane, it's just for ADA. Nor is it Premier, because Premier is only for Lightning Lane attractions, but that looks pretty stagnant. I'd be definitely going on the right side. This is something that you should be doing. When you come to an attraction that's split like this, definitely look and say, hey, how brisk is this side moving versus the other side? That's just incredibly different. These guys are gonna have a much easier time getting there than the groups on the left. Isn't that amazing, the difference? Now, it's hard to say why that is. I think it could just be, well, I don't know. I don't know why that is, because certainly they're not, it's not a question of people just overwhelmingly choosing the left side. There's some other reason why it's a little more sticky. I don't know. By the way, there's a look at the Mark Twain recently off its short and brief, like what, 4-day refurb, offline today, or back online, I should say, today. And I love having that back. I think I just saw some, when it was docked over here, I saw that there was some, what do they call it? Those, caution wet paint type ribbon or tape. So I think it just got a little bit of a paint job here and there, nothing big. So the Mark Twain is back, and then I'm not sure if it started yet or not, but the Columbia is next. The Columbia is going to get the same type of refurb, like 4 days. So at 12:14, we're going to take a quick detour into Tiana's Palace. I just want to see what the standby looks like, because it is obviously high noon, lunchtime. Hey, there's Tiana right here. She makes the best beignets, you guys. I can hear the band out there. Nobody waiting at the door. Wide open. And there's Shelly. Hi, Shelly. How are you? Hi. Yeah, very light in here. Not at all busy. They're not even using the left side, so that's about a 5-minute wait. Don't even need a mobile order today. Seating, on the other hand, is a little bit more competitive out here. There's just one table there. Oh, we got a couple tables over here. Hey guys, how are you? Couple tables here, table over there. That's pretty good. And then a bunch of tables. This is where I usually sit, is back there. Those are usually the last tables that fill up. There's a tip for you. If you're ever in a search for a table here at Tiana's Palace, which I said this covered area fills up obviously first. But if you ever you can't find anything, don't forget to check over there on the other side of the path that's next to Cafe Orleans. Those seats right there, I often find one there. It doesn't take long to get a table in that spot. It looks like they've got the band out here facing what I still call Magnolia Gardens. Or is it Court? Magnolia Court Gardens? I don't know. Wonderful. Well, while we're here, hi guys. Let's take a look at Haunted Mansion. I'm feeling a light crowd here. If it's even open, there's nothing going there. Nothing happening in Leota's garden. Nothing happening in the greenhouse. This feels very close. Oh yeah. And now I can see through. Oh no, there's a guest running. Oh my. No, they're leaving. Those guests are leaving. There are no guests back there. We have to confirm. In fact, that is a closed attraction, but guests are really crowding around here. But if I'm seeing guests leaving the attraction, that usually indicates that it's going to be a little while before they reopen. But you got a lot of loiterers out here hoping to rope drop this thing and get a break. Instead, we are going to stop and get some lunch. There's a new sandwich. New-ish. Over here at the Harbor Galley, they have replaced the what do they call it? The lobster roll with the what do they call it? Is it the crab and shrimp roll? We're gonna try that next. Crab and shrimp roll it is here at the Harbor Galley with a view of the river. Although there's no boat traffic, we have just the Mark Twain, but it's been parked there for a little bit. Hopefully, we get a Mark Twain that comes by in our background here while we shoot this. But that's the crab and shrimp roll. Jumbo lump crab. I've never heard of lump crab. And shrimp salad sandwich. served with a bag of potato chips. Very in-depth description of our sandwich. This is a very fascinating thing because I'm pretty sure, you know what, I know I have some B-roll of like a tuna sandwich and the old lobster roll. This looks small. First impressions, this looks like they've given us a smaller bun. By the way, it's $18.99, so they haven't given us a smaller price, just a smaller sandwich, I think. I'm just basing this on my vague recollections of sandwiches past. You've got there's the crab and the shrimp and some green onions mixed in there, and sort of whatever mayonnaise type sauce that's mixed in, and then one piece of very vague looking lettuce, kind of sad. Matter of fact, we're gonna show you that now. This is it right here. This one little, that's it. That's all of the lettuce that they put. Like, that can't be direction. Like, how do you intentionally just put one tiny half a leaf of lettuce in a sandwich? Or that is direction. Because now there's nothing else. That's it. I've gotten all of it. I got it all. How is it possible that you can't grab two pieces when you make that? I don't know. A little disappointing. Not that I have, kind of sad looking limp lettuce high on my priorities of how I want a sandwich to be made. I probably would not eat the lettuce anyway. I'm just saying. Okay, so the sandwich, I'm trying to hold this now, and it's breaking in half. The bun is like do they say what the bun is? No, they don't. But it's a very gentle or ginger, like it's very brittle, and I feel like it's gonna snap in half at any moment. But here you go. Cheers, Fresh Baked. You gonna look at that before we get going? Cheers. All those shortcomings aside, the actual sandwich itself it's pretty tasty. The crab and the shrimp are both apparent and tasty. Not too fishy, not at all. And the lemon juice helped. I've added some lemon juice on there, and that makes for a nice little touch on the end. And the bread is actually too. The bun it's very light. It's almost like white bread. It's almost like sandwich bread. So I'm down. That's pretty good. As usual, their sandwiches do come with a side of chips. These are the sea salt. That's it, sea salt originals. I do usually like their chips. They're usually quite salty and tasty. A perfect accompaniment to the sandwich. Awesome. For me, there are fewer things that I enjoy more than having a nice chill meal here at Disneyland. I love to soak in things. I love to just kind of let things envelop you, hug you, the Disney magic. Sitting here at Harbor Galley enjoying a crab and shrimp roll while the Mark Twain goes by, that's pretty peak. You know what I mean? That's pretty peak. Like, you could just sit here. I remember when Disneyland first reopened post-COVID. That was the moment. I sat out there, along the rivers of America there. They had put tables out there where their strollers are now. And I remember thinking that was probably the most singular moment for me that day. Today I get to enjoy a pretty tasty sandwich. As for that sandwich, like I said, pretty tasty. For $18.99, it's a little high on the price point, mostly because it's small. I mean, I realize we're getting premium, protein or whatever, the shrimp and the crab. I get that. But $18.99 for a sandwich that I'm most likely going to finish, which means, as I've said in previous reports, I don't have a very big stomach. My appetite is not as big as others. I very rarely finish a meal. I'm going to finish this easily, and the chips, which is suggestive of it being a small portion. So those of you who can have a bigger appetite than I do are probably not going to be full after eating this, just much like we said over there at Rancho del Zacalo. But it is pretty tasty, and again, it's a wonderful way to enjoy it. I love eating at the Harbor Galley, if only because if you could get a table for the aesthetic that's happening. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I would like to give it more, but it's a little on the pricier end. But I'm going to finish this, and then we're going to get back to work. Looks like the Haunted Mansion opened up. Cheers, Fresh Baked. Confirmed. Haunted Mansion's back open. It's been open for a little bit. I took an extra long break back there. Posted at 30 minutes, and it looks like guests are going right in.
Going straight on up.
Look at that. No trip through Leota's garden. Nothing over here along the pet cemetery there. They're going right into the back. It does look like there's a bit of a wait. There's a light wait. Oh my gosh, how is that even 30 minutes? Not even close. Probably closer to 15 to the door is my guess. Now this is probably just maybe 15, 20 minutes after reopening, after the rope drop of the shutdown. So it's probably not, they're going to put it at 30 just because. They got to put it at something and they're not going to drop it too low. But yeah, that's still a good, I would have thought there would be more guests there, even if just 15, 20 minutes, but that's still probably what it is. It's just the breakdown. I will also mention, normally we don't head down this way, but I noted while I was having my lunch that Tom Sawyer Island is closed. That's just for about 2 days, I think. Just a couple days. I don't know what they're doing, but in 2 days they can't do much, so I don't expect to see a lot of changes there. They're not going to be restoring any of the long broke down features on that island, I am sure. So I would absolutely give every single member of the executive staff a high five. If somebody would just pull the trigger and fix Tom Sawyer Island, even if you think nobody's going to get on the island, it's bad form. It's not a good look. It's bad form. It's not a good guest experience for those who are having it. It makes us think you don't care. And you don't, right? Because it's very obvious. The logic is, well, why should we fix it if nobody's going to the island? You should fix it anyway, because that's the right thing to do, is what I'm saying. You should fix it anyway. Walt would never have let Tom Sawyer Island decay to the condition it has. I'm not sure why I chose this moment to rant on that, but here we are. That never would have been allowed to happen. And so you should fix it because it's the right thing to do. I hope you're listening. Heading into Tiana's next. Oh, there we go. All right, love to hear that sound. The sound of a operating Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the screaming at the drop. Very comforting to me. I don't like walking through here and not hearing the water or the music or people screaming.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys?
And then you have one.
I'm gonna guess 45 minutes for Tiana's. Wow. Well, wow. Okay, I'm confused. These are conflicting signals. The board says 60 minutes, but the garden, the children's garden, is empty, and they're not even waiting out here along the mountain path, the mountain side there. The back of the queue is up here right when you go through the threshold. That's interesting. I would not call that 60 minutes if I were here to observe this queue. False negative? False negative? Yeah, that's not 60. You're probably looking at closer to 35, 40 minutes there. Well, it depends on what we see back there in Extended 1 and Extended 2, because you guys know, if they're not using Extended 1 and Extended 2, then that subtracts like 15 minutes off your time. But if they have that full back there, then it's more likely to be closer to the posted wait time. And we do have a very full and still looking, not a lot of movement here, a very sticky looking Extended 1. They're not using Extended 2. Extended 2 would be around this tree right here. They do send queue. When it gets really busy, they send queue around that tree, and it comes back, and that's what goes up the stairs. So there we go. Hi, guys. So Extended 1, this is not bad. Hi, guys. Yeah, I would still not call this 60, even though it looks very sticky. This looks like it's a slow looking queue. How long have you guys been in the queue so far?
We've been in the queue for, 30 minutes? Like 40 minutes. 40, yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Where was the back?
All the way, standby entrance, so we're about a little bit.
Oh, the queue has gotten way shorter since then for some reason.
Shorter. We probably took us 15 minutes to get, past the first round, and now we're in here.
Okay, all right. Well, interesting. Hi. Hi, guys. 30 minutes, man. Okay, all right. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Love you.
See ya.
I think we can get it here.
I got it.
He said they got in the queue when it was at the threshold back there at standby. That's fascinating. What has happened here where they were able to, in just the span of 30 or 40 minutes, clear all that queue back there? I feel like that's a sign that when you see it back there, when you see it all the way in the garden, maybe just come back. Maybe go ride Winnie the Pooh, because look at Winnie the Pooh right now. All right, that's dead. Completely dead. I mean, it's not lunchtime. Anyway, I feel like that's a sign that, yeah, come back a little bit, just wait 30, 40 minutes and you can save 15, 20 minutes off the top of your queue or on top of your wait. Because that's what this is. All that along the wall in the garden, that's gonna take you 30 minutes. Well, he said it was almost 40 minutes to get to that point. Interesting. If you see this thing full, if you see this full, or at least that stretch right there, not this stretch, that stretch, and then into the garden and out towards the threshold, you're come back on the time. At least, or I should say, especially on a not exactly busy day like today. You know what I mean? Like, if it's completely bonkers and you probably don't have a choice, there's probably no other better options. You just get in the queue. If you want to ride, you ride. But on a day like today, where it's not exactly peak, they're not crushing guests today. There's no reason why you shouldn't, go do something else. Go ride, get yourself some Hungry Bear, or go ride Winnie the Pooh. Speaking of Hungry Bear, oh, there's a bit of a queue up there. It is 1:17, so we're still in the official lunch period. When we walked by here or through here 2 weeks ago, there was nobody in that little switchback area that they set up here. But that's a pretty good queue right there. That's pretty busy. You're looking at 20, 30 minutes to get your food from there. But do that anyway, instead of getting into the Tiana's queue, because at least you could do that, from the comfort of a chair. Wait those 30 minutes from a chair in the shade up here in this beautiful seating area, especially near the back, where you can get a good view of the Mark Twain or the Columbia. Plenty of seating here. I saw a permit. Hey guys, how are you? Hi. I saw a permit. Give me 1 second, if that's okay. Where they're setting up some shadow boxes or something for the country bears back here. And I don't know if it's, no, that's utility, I think. But they might be setting up, oh yeah, she's still there. They might be setting up more like shadow boxes to feature some of those country bears out here on this seating area. So far, I think we're fairly consistent with what our expectations were for this day. Busier than it's been, but still not busy. This is a very, very gettable day. Lots of go situations to take advantage of, attractions and dining wise. I had an easy time getting my food at Harbor Galley. Tiana's Palace was, just 5 minutes to get your food standby. And then lots of easy waits. That Matterhorn, the Haunted Mansion wait was brisk. And as I mentioned, that Tiana's Bayou Adventure was not 60 minutes. What about Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance? Well, the fact that there's no ropes out here in section 4, this is normally queue. On any kind of day, normally, this is queue right here. But nothing, obviously, we can see that there's nothing there in section 3 either. I don't know if I mentioned this. I know we alluded to what the crowds were like a year ago. Often I talk about things 2 weeks ago or in our last visit, but a year ago, the headline was "The crowds have returned." That was the headline. The crowds are back at Disneyland because it had been dead, but now they're back. There's Rise. I don't see the back of the queue anywhere in there. Did they come off a closure perhaps? Yes, it does look like it was down for a good stretch. Perhaps an hour or so, reopening around 12:30. What's up? How you doing, man? All right, thank you. Yeah, have a good one, man. It looks like it was back up at around 12:30, so it's been open maybe. Still, that's maybe 12:45. Probably closer to 12:45, which gives it 30 minutes or so that it's been reopened. Posted wait time says 45. You're walking on. In Rise of the Resistance terms anyway, you're gonna probably, you know what, let's go take a look and see if we can't find the back of the queue. Yeah, this queue is about ready to fill up again. There's a lot of people heading in. A lot of people jumping into this queue right now. I do see people posted on the other side of that waterfall, the back of the queue. So the back of the queue is somewhere in the caves there. But I'd be willing to bet if we were to stand here for a minute There's the back of the queue right now, just shy of the caves. But we'll wait here for like 5 minutes and see what happens. But my guess is the back of that queue is going to grow out into section 2 at least, is my guess. Not even a minute in. There you go, 53 seconds. And the back of the queue has now filled up to section 1. If we come back out, we can get a better view.
There's Mimi.
They assign you guys colors. That's the easiest point.
First thing.
Hi guys, how are you? So yes, they have filled up section 1 now. They can't go this way into section 2 because they've got it roped off, so the queue is going to back up that way. But a cast member will probably come along here in short order once this queue starts to breach the main queue. Once it leaves the threshold, they're going to say, "OMG, we got to fix this." They'll take this rope down, and probably, yeah, that one's already up still, so they'll just send the guests. They'll take that one down right there as well. That one drooping right there. They'll take that one down, send guests in there, and then that'll probably fill up pretty quickly as well. The way things are moving. We are now at 2 minutes. Thank you guys, thank you. Hi guys. Hi. Yeah, it's starting to really back up quickly here. They have filled up a lot of this. The cave is full. Section 1 is now beyond full. I'm actually waiting for that moment for the cast member to come move those ropes. We are now at, what did I say, 2.5 minutes? 2.5 minutes now. My prediction was by 5, in 5 minutes they would be into section 2, which effectively would be the case if they didn't have that rope up. Those guests would be filling up section 2 right now and actually be pushing into section 3 almost at this point. For those playing at home, the sections that I'm talking about are based on an analysis I did about, I don't know, a couple years ago maybe. I did a 30 rides in 30 days challenge where I tried to ride rides 30 times, right? And in order to really, I hacked rides basically. I know this ride backwards and forwards now, but in that process, I broke the queue down into sections out in the external queue. Section 1, there's the cave, and then section 1 before you get to the cave. Section 2 right here, these little switchbacks right there that extends to this little corner right there. Section 3 is that section back there. Section 3 extends to this gate right here, and then anything outside of that gate is section 4. This where they would have stanchions built for extended queue, and this would be section 4. You ever see a queue out here, you pretty much should just go home. You know what I mean, or go try something else. But section 4 doesn't even have stanchions up right now, so they're not prepared or looking to see any sort of queue there yet. Basically, I am just waiting to see if they will. I'm surprised they haven't yet. We're now at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. There she is. There she is. You can always catch, man, they're really good at this, you guys. They are really, really good. She's doing exactly what I said she's gonna do. She's gonna take that rope down. She's gonna ask these guests to go back there, and she's gonna take that one down as well. But they are really good at this. It doesn't take them long to react to the queue. So what she's going to do, she's going to wait. There you go. Oh, that's right. I didn't see that one there. She's going to fill up that part of the queue, and then everybody else that is beyond that mark right there, she's going to send to the left. Yep, there we go. She's going to close it off. And now, instead of turning right, they're going to go down this path. She's going to open that, and they're going to send them, and they're going to come in and meet the back of the queue there. Hey guys. Let's see how quickly they can fill up section 2 here. Yeah, see at the back of the queue, there's standby still. Yeah, the back of the queue has exactly what happened, what I thought would happen.
You're awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Once they see the back of the queue is extending to the threshold and it's breached basically the common area, that's when they have to react. And that wasn't enough, not nearly. They're still going to fill all this up. That's not nearly enough. They got to go into section 3 or finish off section 2. There's still a little bit more in section 2 they can do. And by the way, that is now, let's see, there we go. I think I stopped it, but that's probably at least 6 minutes. I may have accidentally stopped the timer. That's it, that was it. That took 6 minutes, and the back of the queue, see, yeah, the back of the queue is still out here. You generally don't see the queue in this, that first, entry spot, and the back of the queue is still breached out here. So they're gonna send that into section 3 at least. By the way, that's also a testament to when you see an attraction that's been closed, especially one like Rise of the Resistance that's been closed for an hour, when you see it come back up, you really gotta be in the near vicinity to take advantage of that breakdown effect. You really gotta be close, because what we saw there, they cleaned that, or they filled that queue up in 6 minutes. That's how much time you have. That's how much time you have to really capture the benefit of rope dropping a breakdown. I said before that it looked like it had been open for 30 or 40 minutes. By the way, I don't think that was the case, because just with the pace that queue filled up, and I heard a guest say, it's open now, it's open, like they had been watching. So I feel like it had just reopened. Oh, and by the way, let's go get a Tatooine Sunset. I haven't had one in a while. Let's get a Tatooine Sunset and look at that tip board. Ah, there it is. Look at that beauty right there waiting for us. Made it. Tatooine Sunset in hand. Oh my gosh. That is so, I've missed you. Oh man. Why did I stop getting those? All right, let's go. Alice in Wonderland, 20 minutes. Not bad, standard. Or actually less than standard. Astro Orbiter 10, nice. Autotopia 10, nice. Buzz 10. All of these are less than standard. Chippendale 15, less than standard. Quite a bit less, actually. That's about half as long as it usually is. Dumbo 25, standard-ish. Nemo 20, light. Haunted Mansion Holiday 35, oops. It's funny, we called it 30, or it was at 30 when we left it, and it was wide open, and it went up to 35. So they must have, they filled that queue up. It wasn't nearly as empty as when we left it. Indiana Jones is closed. We can't test that. It's a shame, because I would like to have seen what that return time was like, because we saw it at 40, but it looked more like 45 or 50. Note, by the way, also that the return time is 2.5 hours from now. For those of you who follow the show, you might know what that means. What that means to me, what I take from when I see a return time, a Lightning Lane return time for Indiana Jones at 4:10, means that people are not buying Lightning Lane. That's a very low return time. Normally it's in the 6, 7, 8 hours by now. But a return time of just 2.5 hours tells me that people are not buying a lot of Lightning Lane. We'll verify that as we check in, like on the Matterhorn. We'll check the Matterhorn and Space Mountain maybe. But that does tells me that that's a good sign for those of you who are in standby. If you see Lightning Lane return times in 6, 7, 8 hours, that's not good for standby. You're going to have some competition. You're going to have a long wait. But a 2.5 hour return time means you're going to have a pretty brisk walk through the queue. Small World 10 minutes. Jungle Cruise 10. Wow, a lot of 10s. Last time we're seeing 5s, so it's busier than that for sure, but still light. This is still not busy. I cannot say, my thumbnail cannot say, my title cannot say, the crowds are back. I cannot say that. Matterhorn, 30 minutes, the crowds are not back. Also, this Matterhorn's usually 4 or 5 hours at this point. It is just an hour and a half. Let's see, Runaway Railway 45. That's actually pretty good for Runaway, busy I should say. You can normally find a pretty short wait for Runaway Railway. Return time of 2 hours. Mickey Smugglers Run, 20 minutes, nice. Maybe we walk through there, I don't know. 20 minutes, and then Toad's 20, easy. Peter Pan, 30, nice. Pinocchio, 5, Pirates, 20, easy. These are easy. Roger Rabbit, 55, so people are filling in that queue. I wonder, what does that 55-minute queue look like without a lot of Lightning Lane? That's curious because look at the return time here. Also just an hour. That should be 4 or 5 hours. So that means it's mostly standby that's comprising that 55 minutes. Where's the back of that queue? I would love to know. We're not going to get there in time for it to find out for sure. Space Mountain 40, light. Return time of just 2.5 hours. Star Tours, it's back. 15 minutes, walk on. No return time. They're calling Rise 85 now. That can't be. We were just there. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to see if they built Section 4. That's a Section 4 wait time. They really pumped that up. It was 40. Not even 10 or 15 minutes ago, it was 40. Now, it was filling up fast. We saw that. We documented that. In 6 minutes, the queue doubled, maybe tripled. But it was still just Section 2. It was getting into Section 3. I wonder. I think I might take 5 minutes to go back there and see if they built Section 4. They don't even have stanchions up. But 85 minutes tells me that's 85 minutes is a Section 4 queue, a Section 4 wait time. Science, right? Okay, let's see. Tiana's 45, not bad. And there's a proper return time, 4 hours or so. And there you go, that's it, take care. And as promised, we're back at Rise the Resistance to see what an 85-minute queue looks like. It does still say 85 minutes up there. They have, in fact, gotten everything cleared out of here, which means they've moved it at least into Section 3. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, obviously 1 is full, 2 is full. Hey, how are you? Thank you. And 3 is full. You can see the guests have reached to that point that they're about to burst, actually. It's getting kind of close. That's the back of the queue right now. Right there is in Section 3 when they're going to make that U-turn. There were some gaps back there. There's still space in this queue back there that they could probably fill guests in. So it may not get to the point where they have to put stanchions out here for Section 4. I would say this is not an 85-minute queue. I am shocked that they're calling this 85 minutes. I have been in an 85-minute queue, and it is significantly more brutal than what we just saw there. That's 45, 50 maybe. I don't know where they got that 85 number, honestly. Unless they're expecting a bunch of people crashing Lightning Lane because the ride was down, and which is the thing, but they're not selling any today. We've already observed that they're not selling any. Let's take a look. Nothing, right? Just a couple of guests there. On a busy day, if the ride's been down an hour, you'll see everybody who purchased Lightning Lane to crash the queue because they want to get in there while they have a chance. There is a little bit, actually you can see the back of it there, but that's maybe 12, 15 guests. They're going to process that in one rotation and they'll be done with it. But you know, when it's really crashed, they'll fill all this queue up here. It'll come out here past the threshold and down the walkway on their way back to the marketplace. Yeah, even with the Lightning Lane crash or a rush that presumably would be happening, that's still not 85 minutes. That's probably, 60 at the top side, but probably not even that. So we have to make this trek back to the marketplace to go check out Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. On the way, I got some time to kill. Last week we mentioned that we use electrolytes now. We've been using those to sort of keep us going, keep the energy levels high. I've been on a crash course changing almost every part of my operation here, to improve my endurance because, I'm not young. I'm going to be 56 this year, and I'm subject to fatigue and tiredness. Hey guys. But I've been trying to, change a lot of things, and so that's why I pack energy bars, I pack electrolytes, and I've also changed my shoes. Those are my new Hokas. I've been wearing these for about 2 months now, and I absolutely love them. Resisted for a long time because they are ugly as sin. I had some sketches because my shoes died, and I thought, okay, I want to get, I used to wear like oh, I forget the name of them. They're like waiter shoes, those dark black leather shoes. I used to wear those a lot, and then I tried some Skechers. I wore the Skechers here in the park. I mean, they're very, very comfortable, but they're just not long-term walking shoes. I was dead. My knees were dead. I was so tired at the end of the day. So I immediately switched from those to these Hokas. And I am so grateful. I've got so much more life in my legs today than I had in the past. And that's allows me to do these, you know, super long for me anyway. But I you know, they got me through Walt Disney World where I was doing 12-hour days, you know, 30,000 steps. I went to Epcot, my last Epcot trip was 30,000 steps. And while I was dead, I survived. I survived based on drinking a bunch of water, taking one electrolyte, putting, you know, what do they call that? Like breakfast bar type things, snack bars, in the middle of my meals, and these shoes. There's a link in the description for all that stuff. Check that out. Obviously, this is, you know, I am an affiliate, and I'm an Amazon affiliate in that regard. But I'm just, you know, that's true though. Everything I've said is absolutely true. So check those out. And we are now back in Galaxy's Edge proper. Let's check out that Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run queue time.
Dude, this is so freaking awesome.
Okay. Apart from that absolute outstanding analysis of Galaxy's Edge, it is a little dead out here again. It's wide open in these space in the common area, very wide open, much like what we saw last week. What we didn't see last week, though, were guests. I don't know if you guys can see that. There are guests posted against the glass back there. That's the one thing you can observe before you go into the queue. If you ever wanted to kind of give just a simple litmus test of whether or not the queue is busy or not. If you see guests in the glass standing or leaning up against it, that's probably not ideal. They are calling this 20 minutes, but that's a little, you know what, let's go check out the rest. That might still be a go if they're not using much of that, you know, all the catwalks and et cetera up there. So what we're hoping for is nothing on the catwalks up there. So far, so good. Clear up there, you like to see that. That means everything back that way is then open, so the only question is whether or not they're on this catwalk.
Enter this place.
Looks good. You guys go ahead. The back of the queue is just meeting that threshold there. That's just before you hit the glass. There's one little turn, and then you're at that area where the windows are. Also, I'm seeing nothing here for Lightning Lane. This is a go. This is a go situation. That's 20 minutes, probably, maybe not even that. Detailed study needs to be done of this attraction, though, but I don't know if it's possible. I just don't know. We've talked about this in the past. But there's just so many variables to what, you know, whether or not this can be a go or a no-go. Because, well, I mean, really those variables are the pods and how many Millennium Falcon pods are actually functioning. Because I've seen where they've got a posted wait time of like an hour, right? 60 minutes, but the queue is like right where we saw it. So I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means they're probably down. It means they're probably running at reduced capacity. And, hey guys, all right. And that, you know, so they're not able to cycle as many guests per hour, you know, half as many probably in most cases when they're running, you know, because each pod I think is four Falcon cockpits per pod. It's really it's fascinating, but it's complicated to suss out. So I don't know if it's even possible to really get hey guys, how are you? Hey, what's up? Hi guys. I don't know if it's possible to get a realistic number. Like we can measure the other queues. We can easily measure, we've measured Radiator Springs, we've measured very complex queues, but it's the ones you can't see, the ones where you can't see what's happening, you can't see the ride vehicles, you can't see the queue, that make it really difficult. Chill as usual. You know, oh guys, you know what, I just remembered. Did I hear correctly that they're not doing the wait list anymore? I gotta check the app. Oh man, it's not just a walk-up list. Reservations entirely. I just checked the app, and it's saying subject to availability. Oga's Cantina is subject to walk-up availability. Reservations are not offered for this experience. It is standby only. So now that queue that always looks like it's a standby queue is now a standby queue. Those guests are just gonna walk in. Walk-ups only. What does that mean? I mean, it's good for standby guests because there's a time when Oga's Cantina reservations were very difficult. They were like getting Blue Bayou. You had to be right there. They were gone always, and you had to schedule in advance. And then the walk-up was like, sometimes they wouldn't even offer it. It was so busy, like, no, there's no walk-ups or no wait list, standby wait list. But you could do at the other table service. Okay. Sometimes even that wasn't available. Does that mean that it's deader than usual in there? And for them, this is not just a temporary situation. They have taken it, it's gone. It's not like we're disabling it for now. It is a permanent situation. That is everybody trying to get into Oga's Cantina right now. We have definitely got to see what that's about in a future episode. I may have to plan some kind of evening run, perhaps? Question mark? No, I am looking for something to do on Wednesday. Maybe I try that. I think I should. I think I should try the standby at I keep doing that, at Oga's Cantina. Okay, so that's Galaxy's Edge. On the way, there's another thing I want to talk about. You may have heard there is an offer that has been sort of whispered, I guess. Disney has been sending privately, like emails directly to people, a select group of people, for a discounted ticket. One that's sort of similar to the ones we've seen in the past, but it's not available to everyone. They're calling it a pin code discount, and what they do is they send you this email and they say, if you want to take advantage of this offer, and by the way, it's a pretty good deal because it's a park hopper. I want to say it's a 3-day park hopper. Oh no, they're selling single day tickets as well, but it's like $140 or something like that for a park hopper, and the 3-day ticket's like $360, I want to say. It's a pretty good deal if you plan to park hop. If you're not, then just go ahead and get the regular 3-day ticket. But they're only doing this for specific guests, and this is Disney's attempt to try to be surgeon-like in terms of, and be precise about who they're offering the discounts to. They're going to send that email only to people that they think will best benefit Disney. People that perhaps have been avoiding the park. I'm not going to get that email. Okay, first of all, as a Magic Key holder, I'm not getting that email. So even if I wanted to buy it for somebody else, I have no shot. But also people who are here who buy tickets regularly, probably not going to get in there. It's going to be for people who have bought tickets in the past, perhaps, but they haven't heard from them in a while. At least that's the impression I'm getting. I read Tom Breuer's article on this, and he had a very good write-up on it. And that's sort of his impression of things, because it doesn't sound like they're trying to offer it to everybody. I'm kind of surprised, actually, considering how the crowds have been here in the parks for the past going on 2 months now, and continuing today. Although it's a little busier today than it was in the past, it's still pretty light. I feel like they need to do more than just snipe out specific guests if they're trying to fill the park up for real. And I make that distinction because I'm not positive that Disney's goal is to reach, fire marshal capacity. Oh my gosh. Wow. It is. Well, okay, again, no Casey Jr. Storybook Land is also cruised. But yeah, I don't think it's Disney's goal anymore to reach that fire marshal capacity, every possible body in the park full. I don't necessarily think that they're trying to do that anymore. They did in the past, back in the, pre-COVID, they would sell as many tickets as they possibly could up to the actual full-on limit of the park, until the safe conditions set by the fire marshal, as it were. They're not even close to that anymore, and I think that's with intent. I think fire marshal capacity is somewhere in the high 60s, I believe, 60,000s, maybe 70. I'm not positive, but they haven't been near that. Well, not since pre-COVID. It's been since pre-COVID, so that's years and years and years. So that's got to be intentional. Pinocchio was 5 minutes on the tip board earlier. This is not 5 minutes, that's more like 10, but still a bargain. Very light out here in, thank goodness, Fantasyland, it's just light. Oh, Snow White's popping. That was down for a minute. I saw on the tip board that was down, but that's actually big. Look, the queues burst out of the threshold. They're in wild space. When's the last? 10 minutes, are you kidding? That says 10 minutes, although they haven't stretched it out. So this is like a surprise. Hi guys, what's up? This is a surprise to the cast, I think. Cast members were not ready for this. They have, because this queue is not open. So that's about 4 minutes right there. That's why the board says 10, but it's out here. So they're skipping that, so that 4 minutes, yeah, it's probably, it could be 10 actually. Yeah, it could be. Peter Pan. Hi guys. Peter Pan's looking pretty normal. It's at what it should be. I think it was at 30 minutes when we checked, and this looks like a 30-minute queue. All of these chains out here are underused. They're calling it 20 actually. Wow, I don't believe you. I mean, it could be. It'll peak, or it might hit 30. But people overestimate how long this takes. Because it looks so busy all the time and it looks so compact. But it's a fairly brisk queue, and it's always less wait than you think it will be, in my opinion.
Hi, David.
Hey, how are you?
This
Good
is
to see
your Monday state of Disneyland.
It sure is. All right. Okay, and then Mr. Toads. We enjoyed this on our little impromptu David's Day visit. If you didn't miss that, our channel update video. I might be doing that again. I might be doing something like that. Oh, it's closed. Well, okay then. Doors are shut. The way is shut. Unless, well, there's, yeah, it's closed. Okay. I don't know, there's guests still in the queue, but there's no entry in there. And then Dumbo, wow. Yeah, Dumbo's still light. It's funny how we're getting mixed signals as I walk around. Some queues are super busy like snow, or busy-ish. This is saying it's 25, is that what that says? Yeah, it says 25, but no way that is. We can walk back here and I'll show you the back of the queue without having to go very far. Oop. Let's see. There it is. That's the back of the queue right there. And it's not even, it's less than that even. That's 3 rotations, maybe 10, 12 minutes. Not even 3 actually, maybe 2, because that group just got on and they have not yet set up the next group. Yeah, that's 2. That's not even 2. That might be 1.5 right there. No waiting at Mad Tea Party as well. Guys, it is still a great time to come to the park, in my opinion. It is still really light. Allow me, please, for another cheap plug. If this looks good to you, call Getaway Today. Make your travel agents with Getaway. They will take care of you just the same way they take care of me on all of my trips to Walt Disney World. I've been going a lot lately, by the way, and it's possible thanks to you guys using Getaway Today. Every time you use Getaway Today, it makes it more possible for me to go to Walt Disney World, because part of our affiliate thing is that they give me a hotel here and there. That's pretty good. So that helps make those trips a little bit more possible for me, and I want to thank you for that. And if you have plans to make a trip in the future, please do use Getaway. I mean, it's not like you're going to get some low rent travel agents. These guys are amazing. I love them. They are so kind and so knowledgeable. They are the best at this. I have just put myself in their hands on many occasions, and you won't be sorry if you do too. Link in the description. Call Getaway Today. Let them know the Fresh Bake sent you, and check out this. Sorry I didn't catch more of that show. I would stay there for longer, but they usually talk for like 5 minutes in between songs. Maybe we're done talking about Small World, which is dead. Small World is dead. That's a posted 5 minutes right there, and the guests are just going in and coming right back down the bridge. 5 minutes, walk on. How delightful. Guys, sorry, I almost lost it. How absolutely delightful that would be, like, to just decide. Can you imagine the feeling? Best feelings that you can have at Disneyland, in my opinion, is having a decision. Let's go to Small World. I feel like riding Small World. You get here and it's just like, oh my God, we can walk right on. It feels so good. It feels so good when you beat a queue, when you can just walk onto something. Because often is the case when you go to Disneyland or DCA, when it's busy, there's no discounts anywhere. But man, this is it. Now is the time. These guests, all these guests right now going into Small World are just gonna walk straight on. Good for them. See, told you. They're back. somebody missed it. I think somebody missed. Yay! Let's go to Toontown. Speaking about people making excellent choices, how about those guests getting ready to get on the Disneyland Railroad right there at the Toontown station? Yeah. Get that Grand Circle tour. What does a 55-minute queue standby at Roger Rabbit's look like, assuming there's very little to no Lightning Lane? I really want to know. I'm hoping we can still have that experience right now. Well, they're calling it 50, and there is some Lightning Lane there, so, oh no, that's more than a little right there. So I have a feeling the standby queue, the back is going to be at the prop room. That is my guess. The back of the queue will be at the prop room. And it's not even that. We can't even get around the corner. Back of the queue is right here at the Bouncer. For me, on this day, considering everything else that's available to us, that's a no-go for me, for Roger Rabbit. I mean, unless your heart is dead set on riding Roger Rabbit, you probably might be able to find a better opportunity. I don't like this one. I don't like the size of that Lightning Lane queue, and I don't like the back of the queue being all the way back to the Bouncer store. And by the way, that's the first no-go we've had today, right? I'm pretty sure that's the first no-go we've seen. What about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway? Oh, 30. It was at 45. How are you? It was at 45 when we checked the tip board not long ago, but I remember saying then, that don't even worry about it, just get in. That's a lot of Lightning Lane though. See them sticking out here? That's a fair amount of Lightning Lane in there as well. But for 30 minutes, I'm thinking second prop room maybe. And we're getting close. We're close. First prop room, second prop room is that hallway where the beanstalk is. It's actually growing. It's getting longer and longer, so that 30-minute wait time has probably been a call to action for people to show up, so it's getting longer. When we first got here, it was closer to where you get into the second prop room. But yeah, a lot of people are coming into the queue right now. Oh, and I think that big Lightning Lane queue that I saw was a tour. That's a tour group going through here. So that queue that we're seeing now, plus the size of that tour group going there, that's going to turn that 30-minute queue probably into maybe a 35 or 40 is my guess. But still, there's really no. This is one of those. I forget the term I call them. It goes quick though type attractions. It's one of those attractions that I never say no to. Never no, always go type attractions. There's very little that I'll ever see from Runaway Railway that's gonna make me like, nah, the ride's great too. That's a go situation right there too, right? It is warm. The temperatures have gone down, by the way. It is presently 83 degrees right now. A few days, over the last couple days, it's been in the high 70s, mid to high 70s, but it's gonna warm up a little this week, but then the temperature's gonna go back down again next week. So much cooler here at Disneyland this time of year than compared to last year and weeks past. Last year we had an incredible heat wave. This year it's been pretty nice, so just a few really bad days, a few days over 90, and that's about it. And that has taken us all the way. Oh, look at that. That's the shortest queue I think I've ever seen for Minnie's house. Usually it's down the hill towards the gate there, 20 minutes, that's probably accurate. Wow, what a discount for a Minnie's house. Mickey's has posted at 30, and we saw a 15-minute wait on the tip board earlier for Gadget's Coaster. They're calling it 15 still. And I see guests just walking straight to the back side of the queue there. I don't know how much you guys can see, but the back of the queue, oh, sorry, I had the wrong setting. The back, oh, I did it again. Okay, oh, shut up, David. Okay, there we go. Just to the left, the back of the queue. Back of the queue is just to the left of that red-orange support there. You can see these guests walking up, and they're gonna stop right there. So that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal for gadgets. Normally the back of the queue is around the frogs there. I'm zoomed in, so okay, there we are. Back of the queue is right around those frogs, maybe the chip's butt. But today is nice. Today that's a go, absolute go. Matterhorn's next, I can't wait. Man, last week we saw such a dream scenario that we just walked right on basically. It took us like 10 minutes to get to the vehicle. Obviously not the expected situation, but still not bad today. Even though it's busier, 25 minutes posted, the back of the queue is peeking out of the threshold there, and they are right of tree right now. They're right of tree, but my suspicion is that they're not into extended 1 or extended 2. They are going to make a U-turn, I bet, after the lamp. Tree lamp is empty, and confirmed. They are making a U-turn at the lamp, which is incredible for 2:36 in the afternoon to find the Matterhorn queue making a U-turn at the lamp instead of going out here in extended 1 and or extended 2. An absolute discount at the Matterhorn. I keep waiting for things to change. I keep waiting to be, okay, here it is, finally, gosh, they made it. And it's, I mean, again, it's busier than it was, but still, just an absolute gettable day today. The folks who have made the choice to come to Disneyland this week on this day have made an absolutely tremendous decision. It's well done. Hi guys, well done. Another empty queue here at Finding Nemo. My goodness. Although I should, you know, at this point, the verdict is in, right? We just declared. The verdict is in, but still, room to be shocked. That's a 20-minute queue, tops. 20 minutes tops on that one. I'll be in the park Wednesday, I think. I should be in the park Wednesday. I might do that August thing, but I'm also gonna do just rides. I'm gonna go on rides and we'll do some park signs. Different from what we're doing today. The park signs that you can do on our app, freshbakepresents.com, where you can enter, you can post a wait time, like a posted wait time, and then what your actual experience was. We'll go on a few rides, have some fun with that, and then also do a couple, instances, show you guys how to use that part of the app. It's really cool. Even if you don't use it, you can take advantage of it. And this is all free, by the way. It's all free. You can take advantage of it because it gives you a historical. It'll tell you over the course of however many inputs that we've received on the app what the average wait time is and how much it is above or below the posted wait time on average. It's plus minus type situation. It's a really cool feature, and it's one that I don't know if enough people are taking advantage of maybe because we haven't shown it. That's why we're going to do that on Wednesday. As for Autotopia, that is a posted 15 minutes at 2:42 in the afternoon, and you can see again, just like 2 weeks ago, nobody on the risers. The risers are completely empty. Guests are going up and then making a U-turn at the umbrella, and they're not even going down. Are they even using? No, they're not. Oh my gosh. I don't think they're using the left 2 lanes, you guys. I think they closed half of the track. Just the right 2 lanes are being used. The left 2 lanes are not. You can see up there when they make the U-turn at the umbrella, they're just going to the left side of the split. No split is happening on the right. They're not using the left 2 lanes. And it's still just a 15-minute wait. Just do the math on that. Hey, how are you? Yeah, do the math. If it was, if they were using both sides, you could cut that queue wait in half. If that's 15 minutes, which I don't think it is. I don't think it is even that. It's more like 10, but that 10 becomes 5. That 15 becomes 7. Wow. And we're starting to wind things down here, you guys. We've only got 4 attractions left, 3 actually, because we already know Big Thunder's not working. I'm gonna shut up, listen to this loop.
Can we even get out of here from here?
Wow. Fantastic Four still going strong. I thought I heard somewhere that they're going to end this on September 25th. We'll keep our eyes and ears open on that. But we're going to head back to Space Mountain where it's posted at 40 minutes. The beat goes on. 40 minutes for Space Mountain. And this is a question that I often ask when I get here. Like, what do we think the queue is going to look like? What does a 40-minute queue at Space Mountain look like? I'm gonna say probably the back of the queue is that far section of the interior extended queue, the one right before the doors. I'm gonna say they're probably using most of that, but not that side or that middle ground or the rear third. Lots of tables down there for Alien Pizza Planet. Man, they can feed a lot of people there. There are so many tables at Alien Pizza Planet, and yet there are days when you can't get a seat. I've been there when I could not find a table. Yeah, so far so good. Just those 2 guests getting in the light lane over there. Obviously, I don't see a queue sticking out. I do see a queue at the door, so we got at least that. That's looking very much like what I expected it to look for 40 minutes. So I'm gonna say this first third is open, the stretch that runs along the wall is open, and then probably that forward third is full, is my guess. Boom. Pretty much nailed it. Actually, even that forward, the far third is actually a little light as far as Space Mountain goes. That's a little light. But yeah, this stretch is the stretch I'm talking about, and then obviously this is empty. That is consistent with what I expect to be a 40-minute queue at Space Mountain. Wow. By the way, it goes without saying, that's a go situation. Do you ever see a queue where those 2 sections back there are empty? Just get in it. You're good. Go for it. You're good, you're good, you're good. Go, go, go. What is that? Just 1 no-go so far? Well, I can't remember which one it was. I know there was one. What queue did I? Oh, Roger Rabbit, that's it. And it's funny how consistent that has become. Roger Rabbit is like the Monsters, Inc. of Disneyland. It's just, I mean, it's a better ride than Monsters Inc. is, in my opinion. But it has similar kind of capacity. You can only fit 2 people per vehicle. That's kind of a drag. 2 people per vehicle, but they go through pretty consistent. But yeah, that's always got one of the longest wait times. Their output is not near as competitive as I would like it to be. And look at that. Outstanding. Star Tours is back up. We did a ride through on that Wednesday visit and put that up on Tours Departing Daily. Hope you guys check that out. It looks exactly the same. There were no changes as far as I could tell on the ride. Nothing guest facing, but I was the Rebel Spy, so there's that. I was wearing my Star Tour shirt that day, and I got to be the Rebel Spy. It was outstanding. Detention is closed. That's a good sign. So you're looking at maybe 15 minutes here for Star Tours, is my guess. Take you 5 minutes to get inside. 10 minutes to the vehicle after that, so 15 total. Yeah, they're calling it 20, so it probably is about 15 then. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at that. They're just putting that up on the board, straight up 5 minutes on the board for Astro Blasters. Straight up 5 minutes. This is the whole queue right here. That's it. They're walking straight on. They're not using any of that queue back there. You know, somebody said I've got some sort of witchcraft going on when I visit the park because they come and the park is packed. I've heard people say, oh my gosh, I was here on Wednesday or whatever day it was, and it was bonkers. But I have not seen a bonkers day. I can't even remember. I can't even remember the last time I was like, oh my gosh, it's busy. I'm thinking, it's been months. Hey, there's Matt. And Goofy and Pluto. I wasn't even rolling for the best part of that cavalcade. Mad Hatter stopped to shake my hand. Cool. And we're gonna wind this show down in Frontierland. Now I mentioned earlier that there's not much to cover here because Big Thunder is closed, which is the only attraction left. However, there is news to report on Big Thunder. You may have seen in our last construction report, the lead story there, the thumbnail as it were, was that we have a date. We have a date for Big Thunder. They were calling it October 25th according to the refurb calendar. That's where we get our dates from. The refurb calendar says it's going to be open on the 25th, and that's what we call. But no sooner did we put that out, did they take it down, and now it's open-ended again. There is no date on the calendar. Now, my first reaction when I saw that it was going to reopen on October 25th was that's sooner than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be into November. So I feel like that date that they put in was a mistake. I don't think it was ever going to open on the 25th. I think it was always going to be sometime in November, and that's what they're going back to. Let's see if we can't see anything back there. There is a little bit of scaffolding, and you can see some back there as well towards the lift hill. But I think it was always supposed to be sometime in November, and they were just correcting the mistake that was on the refurb calendar. And with that, we did it. We're back at Frontierland. We're back at the Mark Twain riverboat, declaring the end to this day. Still dead at Disneyland. Not completely like, oh my gosh, dead, but still dead. Dead enough that it's an absolute go situation. The entire park, we found one no-go today. Everything else was go for it. Go, 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 go. Food, attractions, crowds, everything is low still here at the Disney Resort. I hope you guys have an opportunity to get down here. Take advantage of this. We'll see you then. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh baked.